Hey everyone, it's your girl Maddie here, aka Beaver Mosh, and today I am joined by Brian of Tzompantli, whose latest album, Beating the Drums of Ancestral Force, is coming out this Friday, May 17th, off a $20 spin. Brian, thank you so much for joining me tonight. How are we doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. Just really excited to kind of get this album out and stuff. But yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. It's been a busy day for me. Actually, this is actually the second interview I'm doing today, but we're getting them out
Oh hell
there.
yeah!
But it's also good because I'm going to be taking a little break. I'm going down to Maryland Death Fest next week, so I'm excited for that.
Oh fuck
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I haven't had the pleasure of going to one of those yet, but yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not really much of a fest person though, so I don't think I do too well.
Yeah. It's an indoor fest, so it's like I don't have to worry about like if it's gonna rain or not. So that's good. But yeah.
Okay,
Uh
that's always good. Yeah, indoors
yeah.
always the best. That I always heard like horror stories and also kind of a cool story from like Maryland Death Fest. Like I don't remember what year it was, but it was when it was like outdoors and like it was like next to like some fucking bridge and like they're like, yeah, it started raining, but they're like the cool thing was like Neurosis started playing as it's like as the rain started to come down. So kind of
Yeah.
just like I guess kind of just but it was kind of cool because it kind of like fit the vibe because it's fucking Neurosis.
It's
And I
neurosis,
was like,
yeah.
yeah, that's kind of cool. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, fuck the rain though.
I know I've read, I mean, even like this year you hear about like in Vakin, like people are like trapped in their tents in a downpour like that. I don't know. I mean, that's not for me. If that's for you, that's cool.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
not for
hell
you.
no. Yeah, not that. Yeah, hell no. I want my shit indoors. Open air is cool, but indoors is always better. Like sound, I don't know. I'm like a big sound guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't do sound, but I just mean like I like things to sound cool, and I know open air just fucking doesn't do shit for me,
I mean, there's no acoustics in like an open field,
Yeah,
It's just
it,
yeah.
yeah. It's just like the sound just constantly travels, and yeah,
Yeah.
it's like nah, no, thank you.
Well, let's talk about your band.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Got a new record coming out. Something that is really unique about this record is the fact that you're an 11 piece now. I mean, what led to the decision to have, such an ensemble? And I guess when you were putting this together, like what were you looking for in these musicians you were bringing on to this project?
I mean, I wanted it to sound as big as possible,
Yeah.
and like I mean, more people, the merrier. But like to be honest though, like when we play live, I mean, we have about like 11 to 12 dudes that like can do it if they can. But like, I mean, orchestrating that many people could be hard. So like live, usually we play with about like nine to no, I would say it's always been about nine, sometimes eight players.
Hmm.
It'll be like um, five instruments, and then we'll have like three people at least up front. So we'll do about eight to nine, like always. Um, but like, I mean, if we ever do like like get everybody that participated, yeah, it'd be like 11 to 12 people, and which we're down to do, but you know orchestrating that many people and all people in the band are in different bands and have full-time bands, so
Hmm.
orchestrating that amount of people can be difficult. But you know I don't know, they're just like friends, that I trust to kind of make the sound that much cooler, to kind of elevate the sound.
Hmm.
And yeah, I basically kind of like fleshed out the whole record. And then I had like songs in mind that I was like, okay, I want, so and so to play on this song, or do a lead guitar on this song, so and so to do a lead on this one. I kind of had like it mapped out. And I wanted to kind of include them more in the process, and just to kind of say thank you for helping me out when we play live, and then
Yeah.
just to also be like, hey, it's more of a collective than just like like a solo project.
Yeah. I gotta say, at least maybe if you don't take them all live, but the photo of your band right now that's on Metal Archives right now, it's like basically you and like your army of metal musicians. It's like the
Yeah,
coolest fucking thing.
yeah. It's funny because I mean I haven't been able to check out the Metal Archives update photo
Yeah.
yet, but yeah, it's definitely a cool photo, and I was fortunate enough to have one of my friends that I grew up with take it, and they came out really cool. And it's funny because that there's still I want to say a couple people missing from the photo.
Oh,
Like I
really?
think,
Okay.
yeah, it's like my homie Justin's missing, who helped out. My homie Lord Fowl from Sybaris, he wasn't in it,
Hmm.
and our good homie Alejandro, who session drums and did a lot of the percussion instruments. He wasn't able to make it either. So yeah, there's still like three other motherfuckers that should have been on it. And so it could have been. I mean, it still looks great, but I mean,
Yeah.
imagine three more dudes on that.
I actually did see that Lord Fowl was involved in this project. I had Siverus on the show a couple months ago,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that
yeah.
that record they put out earlier is
Oh yeah.
it's a mind fuck. Holy
Oh
shit.
yeah, it's badass. It's fucking fantastic. Yeah, I've been hooked on it since it came out. Like, I was hooked on it for like a week straight, and then like it's just constantly been in constant rotation
Yeah.
since. Yeah, it's a great fucking record. Great band,
Yeah.
great guys.
Yeah. Well, for listeners who were, latched onto your project and were a fan of the release you put out in 2022, your debut full length, in what ways has, I don't know, beating the drums maybe evolved from, that previous output?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like musically, I haven't really evolved much, but I will say the one thing that I did step up a lot was the vocals. I feel
Hmm.
like just like placement, filling in like parts of the on the first record where I wasn't sure if I should sing on. Like now I had a little bit more confidence going into this record because I pre-pro'd a lot and kind of like was able to kind of get the songs down really well vocally, and so I feel like that's definitely like a step up. But like I mean the songs, I guess the songs are definitely a little bit better arranging and songwriting. But I mean like you're still gonna get the same kind of like mix of knuckle dragging riffs and kind of like nice doom passages, like it's
Yeah.
and then you're gonna get like the kind of like of more like native inspired songs and that are kind of native instrument heavy and stuff like that. But
Mhm.
yeah, I would say overall the vocals, I tried really hard to kind of get those sounding like as big as possible, um and just like extra mean and menacing and chanty as well.
Yeah.
I feel like this record's a lot more chanty and a little bit more memorable in that aspect. I think people are gonna get some chants stuck in their head and maybe
Oh yeah.
invoke some spirits.
Yeah. And maybe they'll chant along live. It'll
Yeah,
be this ritual experience. It'll be so fucking cool. Yeah.
yeah. I really hope so.
Yeah. Um, you know, talking about that last record of yours, were you surprised by the response it got? Because it was really well received. It ended up on a lot of, 2022 kind of end of year lists. People really liked that record.
you know, um, I was really surprised. Like, I mean, I'm not like full of myself or anything, but I mean, like I understand like my capabilities and stuff like that. But like I was really surprised. I thought it was just gonna get like like just get moderate, like a little bit moderate, like
Yeah.
success, like just people talking here and there, and that's all I could really ask for is just for a handful of people to be like, yeah, this is fucking sick, and
Yeah.
it kind of yeah, it really surpassed that once I saw it was like on a couple like decibel people's end of the year, a couple other like critics end of the year, and I was just like, okay, like all right, fuck, I must be doing something right, and yeah, like seeing that kind of made me like, man, I really need to kind of like hone in on what I'm doing, and then like as that was coming out, I was like slowly writing or chipping away at beating the drums, so yeah, it kind of helped, and yeah, it kind of I guess stroked my ego a little bit. So like I was like, okay, I gotta fucking like do better. I gotta be a little bit just I just gotta set my game up, and I
Yeah.
I feel like I did.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard the record. I think it's great. I think you definitely did step it up, as you say. So,
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
Uh, Now you're a project that utilizes a lot of folk instrumentation, particularly indigenous folk. Now I'm curious, how are
Mhm.
you kind of successfully able to figure out how to blend that right with Death Tube?
Man.
And like how do you layer these? How do you mix them? How do you find that chemistry? Because they're not sounds that typically we have a lot of examples of, right? Like how did you figure out
Yeah,
how to
yeah.
like put that together?
You know, I kind of mostly just went with the flow and just kind of
Yeah.
like trusted my intuition. Um, and then also like I mean, there was like a lot of like I got a lot of inspiration from like indigenous black metal bands and stuff like that. So like I kind of had like an idea of like how to like include the native instruments on the attack of the song, so to speak, and not
Yeah.
just like like in the buried in the mix or have it like during the like the soft spots and stuff. But yeah, I kind of just I kind of just went with my gut on a lot of it, and I just was like, okay, this sounds good. Okay, this doesn't sound good, so I'm not going to do it. But maybe if I move that part over here, I kind
Yeah.
of just did a lot of rearranging in that aspect, and yeah, I just kind of went with the flow, man. I just like fucking just trusted my gut is all I really did, and
Yeah.
I'm not like like I know what sounds good, I know what doesn't sound good to me, so like that's all I fucking went with, and thankfully it worked.
Yeah.
Like when I was showing like friends, like the pre-production stuff, like, oh yeah, this is fucking sick, like, and it kind of made me okay, like I got something here, like I'm gonna keep it as is, and then I'll circle back, and then if I still fuck with it like in a week or so, then that's the song. And yeah, that's just kind of what I did. I just took my time with this record, and especially with the folk instrument parts. Like I just like there was one song where I kind of wanted us to go with the flow, just
Mhm.
to kind of make it sound more jammy and like organic. But all the other stuff like I had kind of like pre-planned in my head. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's song three. I think it's the Look song. Yeah, that one I kind of had a that one. There's like little drum parts like during like the soft instrumentation.
Hmm.
Those I kind of like I set like just like a basic beat, like a just like an under beat, and then
Yeah.
I just had like like the percussionist, like my friends that were doing them. I was like, hey, like right here, I don't know exactly what we're gonna be doing, but I'm like, just listen to what it is, and then just kind of like just go with the flow and just whatever you come up with. Like pretend you're doing a little drum
Yeah.
solo with these little percussion, drums, which is like usually a way, which is like
Mm.
a, a an Aztec drum,
Yeah.
and a floor tom, and then some congas like to kind of like cut through a little bit more.
Mm.
And they just kind of I just let them kind of do that, and then like when they found something they like, they would just kind of double it up,
Yeah.
kind of layer it up, and then even just do like little accents on their own, and then yeah, we just kind of just layered different drums over it, and it ended up sounding really cool.
So it really is a collective. Like, you are kind of giving the vision to these musicians, but you're like saying, here, take the creative reins, do
Yeah,
as you will with this track. Yeah.
yeah, exactly, and it's the same with the guitars too. Like, I did all the rhythm guitars, and the bass, and then our bass player helped out with some of the bass too as well. But then once it came for like the lead guitars, I think I may have done like maybe like two leads on the record, maybe even just one. And then I basically was like, all right, I have Matt, I want you to do this song,
Hmm.
and okay, like here's the spots that I want, that I hear leads on or a solo on, and then there you go, like just go ham, do whatever you feel, and
Yeah.
then yeah, and then like yeah, it takes a couple times to kind of get the rhythm. But yeah, once they did, like,
Mm.
they killed it.
Hell yeah. Well, another aspect that I wanted to talk about with your band is the lyrics. Lyrically, you deal with a lot of Mexican history or
Hmm.
indigenous themes and ideas. And I'm wondering, in this record particular, are there any specific concepts or narrative that you're drawing from that you're trying to like paint with the music here?
I mean, I get a lot of inspiration just from reading a lot of the codexes and like the history, but
Yeah.
particularly on this one, I got like a good chunk of the inspiration from this book called Broken Spears, which is like it's the indigenous account of the conquest, with Spain.
Yeah.
And so yeah, like the first song deals with like kind of like the start of the book, which is like some of the indigenous nobles and the emperor Montezuma. They have like these like premonitions, like these
Hmm.
kind of like fever dreams, but and premonitions, and about just like these really bad omens happening and stuff. So I kind of like it's a collection of different premonitions that they had, and that's what that song is particularly about. And then the song, the first single, Tlaloali, that's basically like um it's about the night of sorrows, which is called La Noche Triste. It's the night of sorrows,
Yeah.
and it's basically the Spanish getting like beaten out of the city of Tenochtitlan, which is Mexico City, and they got removed from the city along with some of their indigenous allies, and it's basically like kind of like telling a story like they were able to beat them back, and then but like as they beat them, like in the coming in the coming weeks and almost right afterwards, they're not really able to like kind of fully rest, because of course like they're anxious, but they're also like starting to get sick from like a disease that they're not really immune to, and
Mm.
of course it starts spreading, so it kind of like affects the people, and so that they're really kind of confused on how to do that. And then they're these warriors that were triumphant basically end up dying, not
Yeah.
from battle, but because they got sick with some virus that they don't have any immunity to, so
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
yeah. So there's that, and then the last song is kind of just building off of what I read in that book, because it's a very sad it's a very sad book, of course, like as you can imagine. But the last song is kind of just like I wrote that like just on what I had just read, and kind of like how I felt, and also like what a lot of the people must have felt. And but yeah, I would say Broken Spears is probably like the main thing, main kind of inspiration for a lot of the or some of the lyrics. And then some of the other
Yeah.
stuff is just like deity worship, stuff like
Mm.
chants from other stuff that I had read.
Mm.
And then yeah.
As you describe this, my mind goes to it's all of these like especially in Latin America, like these movements of resistance, but also these movements of like oppression from colonial powers. Like we read about
Yeah.
this in like our Western history, and it's so distorted or like half truths given. Like
Yeah.
I'm Puerto Rican, right? I
Mhm.
have family on the island, and I've just of like the past 5 years really started to like study what the fuck the United States did to Puerto Rico. It's insane, and like
Yeah.
but they don't tell you that. You're never told that in schools. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a shame too. But the good thing though about like living in like an information age that we are in now, like a lot of
Mm.
people like that I've noticed too here. Well, I mean, it's always kind of been going on in the Los Angeles and like Southern California region. Just there's a lot of people just that are recognizing that they are like indigenous, like Mexican, Central Americans. But of course, like Puerto Ricans as well, because I mean, you guys are
Mm.
Taino, and you
Yeah.
know they call it the was it the paper genocide? Like
Yeah.
they started just writing that people weren't native when they really were, and kind of got people not thinking that they were native, that they were either just strictly Puerto Rican, but what does that really mean, or just white? And
Yeah.
it's kind of sad, but yeah, luckily, like there's a lot of people that are reconnecting and to their like native and indigenous roots and stuff like that, and it's definitely a beautiful thing. I think everyone should kind of like get in touch with their roots.
Uh, one thing I've learned about, myself is that, or Puerto Rico, is that like the reason why there's a lot of Puerto Ricans like in like the mainland United States is because during, I believe it was, I want to say it was it was one of the world wars where the state was like, if you fight in the war with us,
Hmm.
we'll provide, and of course
Yeah,
that
yeah.
never happened. That's why there are
Oh
like
yeah.
enclaves, in Puerto Rico, and like typically in Puerto Ricans in like poor neighborhoods in the United States because the U.S. broke their promise and fucked all these people
Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Typical.
yeah, yeah. uh,
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on to something maybe a little less heavy than that. Uh,
Yeah.
you're involved with, a couple other projects, one very
Yeah.
prominent being Jabala, which is more probably rooted in like hardcore punk with,
Oh yeah.
notes
Yeah.
of death metal. And I'm wondering what are the differences, creatively in how you approach a project like that versus, Tzompantli, or how are they
Mhm.
similar?
That's a good question. I would say there's more similarities than differences
Okay.
musically, but I guess like the biggest difference would be the vocals. Like um in Shababa, like the vocals are a little bit more of like a kind of like a hardcore approach to the vocals,
Hmm.
whereas this one's just pure, guttural, like low, kind of vocals.
Yeah.
Um, but I would say that there isn't much like of an approach other than like I'll have like different like influences in mind when I'm writing for Shababa than I would with Sampantli. But ultimately, it all kind of sounds similar because it's me playing, and I
Yeah.
I had like I just kind of have a way that I do things, and you can I guess kind of tell that it's me doing it. So I would say the main difference is just the vocal approach, and then like there's not as much of an emphasis on the doom in Shababa. I mean, there is in certain parts, but I think it's a little bit more emphasized on some poly at times.
Hmm.
And yeah, I would say that's the only main difference is the vocals and like those doom parts.
Hmm. I uh I remember uh back when some of those Shababa records were coming out when like Anthony Fantano was reviewing them and like
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, he loved the first full length or the
Yeah.
technically our second full length, but yeah, Hasta la Muerte he praised everything after that. He didn't necessarily shit on anything
Yeah.
that we've done, but he was just like, I like the first one better. Oh, I like the first one better. It's like okay, whatever, man. Like I don't
Yeah.
give a
I
fuck.
uh I appreciate like Fantano's music generalist kind of approach and kind of like, really trying to grab onto everything. But I think in that way, maybe he doesn't like fully grasp more niche scenes. Like he dabbles in heavy music, but he's like, I don't think people should look to Fantano as like
Oh
the
yeah, no,
authority on it.
no, yeah, but by
Yeah.
no means, yeah, because there's definitely stuff that he's like praised, and it's like okay, yeah, that deserves praise, and then there's things that he's kind of just like whatever. But it's like when I listen to his reviews, it's like I feel like you missed the mark, though, man. Like
Yeah.
what the? But it's like whatever. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. Like he's definitely like he's clearly a smart motherfucker, and
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I don't know. I feel like sometimes he just goes a little too hard on certain bands and stuff that I think is unnecessary.
Mhm.
But it is what it is. I'm not gonna lose any sleep over that or try to
Yeah.
fight the guy for it.
Mhm. And I mean, I'm exponentially smaller than he is, but I still have a reach. I still have like an influence, but I don't in my in my opinion, at least as someone who covers underground metal, I don't find it useful unless I'm like talking about like I don't know, like Metallica to
Yeah,
do a negative review just because I view my role more as someone who wants to like push music I
yeah,
enjoy
yeah,
to people on the internet. Like if I listen to a metal record and I don't like it, which are plenty if it happens, I just don't
yeah,
talk
yeah.
about it. That's I think that's fine. Like I just okay, it wasn't for me and then I move on.
Yeah, yeah, same. Yeah, like I think things that just don't like if it's something you enjoy and you scream from the rooftops, like I think that's awesome. But if it's something that you like and you're like you go out of your way to trash it, like and be like just be extra about it, like it's
Yeah.
like dog, it ain't that serious. Like you need to chill. and it's just
Yeah.
like yeah, it's like I mean, but it's I guess
Yeah.
any publicity is good, but yeah, I'm usually in the same boat. I just don't like if it's something that I don't fuck with or I don't like, I'm not gonna tell people about it because
Yeah.
like then that's just gonna make people want to go listen to it and oh well I gotta see if Brian's right, I gotta go fucking see if Maddie's right. It's like and then it turns into like, oh, hey, motherfuckers, you were wrong. This album rules. It's like, all right, motherfucker, whatever. So
Cool,
it's like,
cool.
I don't even, yeah, it's like, I don't even give that energy to people, like, or anything. It's just like, I try to like, I don't know, maybe it's my old age, but yeah, I just try to keep things like, positive and cool, man. I just don't want. I'm not about the smoke life anymore. I don't want to smoke from nobody anymore. Like,
Yeah.
I just want to chill.
uh, well, you got to work with the ever so prolific and extremely talented Adam Burke for this cover artwork. Guy's
Yeah,
a
man.
legend. What was the
Yeah.
process like for like, getting this album done? Did you kind of just like send him a loose concept and like just he gave you this back and that was it? Like how'd that turn out?
No, he was actually he seemed a little overwhelmed by the notes that
Oh,
I gave him, and he's like, I don't know if I could do that much. I'm more of like like a scene, like an atmospheric scene or
yeah.
something. And I'm like, yeah, I know what you could do. I'm just fucking giving you these notes to kind of keep in mind when you're doing it. But I'm like, and then he like sent over an idea. Because I was like, one thing I do want is I definitely want a warrior that looks triumphant, and I want a little, you know, I want drums there. I want some Tzompantli there. And he was like, okay, I could definitely do that. And I sent him a couple like indigenous drawings from like concept art from around
Mhm.
that time with the some Tzompantlis with the Spaniard heads. And then I just I let him do his thing and it came out great. I was really happy with how it came out.
No, and yeah, I it's a fantastic cover, but I was actually very surprised when I was like reading through the press release and realizing, oh shit, that's Adam Burke because I'm very familiar with the guy's work, but that does not look like a typical Adam Burke cover. You're right. Like he draws a lot of like very windy monster
Yeah,
photos and like, but he
yeah.
delivered for this too. He kind
Oh
of
yeah,
flexed, guys showed his
he
diversity
killed
as an
it.
artist. Yeah.
Yeah, he fucking killed it. I was like, I mean, I can't say I was surprised, but
Yeah.
I was just really stoked on how it came out. It was definitely an honor to for him to even consider doing us, and I'm glad he did because yeah, it definitely like I don't know like I'm definitely I'm definitely that guy who thinks that the art can sometimes elevate the music and
Hmm.
kind of just like help the music out like with painting images in people's minds when they hear it. Because so sometimes people can hear things and their mind may not articulate what sounds are coming at them to kind of paint images or whatever. So like yeah, I think the artwork kind of helps out with that, and I feel like this one definitely did. Yeah, it's just fucking great. Yeah, Adam's a sick motherfucker. That motherfucker's great.
I'm probably I mean I am biased in saying this. I'm somebody who loves metal, but it feels like metal over any other scene really appreciates and elevates as you said, the impact of the visual as it
Yeah.
compares to music. Like we really care about the album artwork. We really
Hmm.
care about the stage presence, it's all kind of together, it's not just like
Yeah, yeah,
you don't see a lot of, bands just like putting out a record and just like taking a photo of, I don't know, a snail. I don't know. Like just like,
yeah.
like yeah. There's a lot of care in that.
Yeah, there really is, and like, yeah, I think he just kind of helped out a
Yeah.
lot with bringing images to the music,
Yeah.
and yeah, it articulates very well with what we're trying to
Yeah.
do, and yeah, he killed it.
Yeah.
It
Now
was
there
an
is,
honor working with them.
yeah. Now you do have another project that has, I believe, has an EP out, Mortuary Punishment. Is there anything in the works for that at the moment?
Oh,
Oh.
I accidentally pulled my thing out. I'm sorry. Can you repeat that question?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You do have another solo project, Mortuary Punishment. I think you have one EP out for that. Is there anything in the works for
Two,
that
yeah.
project? Yeah.
We got two EPs. The second EP kind of like I just like cold release. I didn't really
Yeah.
do too much announcing. Yeah, that one's like more just like a fun palate cleanser thing to do.
Yeah.
I don't have anything in the works. I've been thinking about it, but it's that band is like it's more just like punk, like kind of punk riffs, just tuned very low and made into like a kind of like a Death Doomed type of punk project,
Sick.
hardcore, whatever.
Yeah.
But so like I'll usually like kind of like have that project on standby, like in between albums that I'm writing. Sometimes I'll
Mm.
just kind of like get not so much burnt out, but just like like kind of just hit a wall, and it's just like I'll step away from whatever I'm writing, and then like of course like still have guitar in hand, and I'll just kind of just fuck around with these punk riffs, and I'm just like, okay, well, fuck, I can turn that into a Mortuary Punishment song, and then like, oh well, now I'm gonna write another Mortuary Punishment song, and then just kind of just
Uh,
turns into like me writing like maybe like 3 or 4 songs of for that project, and then kind of focusing in on that, recording it with my friend, and then just you know shifting my focus once I get back. It kind of just kind of like it's like that thing where you can't play something or do something, and but you keep trying, but then as soon as you like take a break, take a step back, and like just don't do it for a little bit, and then you come back to it and you do it perfect. It's
yeah.
kind of like that, like it definitely like helps me kind of like see the bigger picture sometimes, and then like it's just a really good like palate cleansing project for me that I do. But right now I don't have anything in the works. But I mean, I was thinking about maybe combining two of the EPs and then maybe writing a couple new songs, like when the time comes,
Hmm.
just to kind of do maybe a full length because we don't have any full lengths. And
Yeah.
but yeah, that's just a super fun, like not serious project at all. Just something just to do.
Sure. Sure. There's nothing wrong with
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. Uh, well, I'm curious about your, personal taste. I see the Rage Against the Machine poster up there.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, yeah. Love Rich.
uh, if you can't give me a top five, at least five, bands that you love within the metal genre, like what
Top.
are your like these are five essential bands that like define my metal journey.
Oh yeah. I could definitely do that. Does it, like is it just metal in general, or just like but are we leaning more towards like the extreme side, or
Metal in general, I'm leaving that
okay? I
open.
mean,
Yeah.
definitely Sepultura, the Cavaliers, of course.
Yeah.
Morbid Angel, Disembowelment,
Oh yeah.
Obituary. That's three. Mortician, of course.
Hmm.
Uh, Probably like Suffocation.
Oh
Yeah, I would
yeah.
say like Suffocation or Dying Fetus or something that's a little harder. But yeah, I mean, literally so many. Like yeah, the Bolt Thrower. I don't even know. Like there's so many. Like Crowbar. Yeah, there's just so many bands that I'm like I love like consuming music. So like I like try to consume as much as I can, and then like I have my favorites. I would say like those are like the ones that I get like most of my like musical inspiration from.
That disembowelment record that's on your wall right now, I think it's like one of the greatest metal albums that nobody talks about. Like it's just like kind of
Yeah,
lost in internet discourse for some reason,
yeah,
and it's
yeah,
incredible. It's people will call like records crushing, but that redefines that term. Like
yeah,
that is a crushing record.
yeah. Like it's so like I mean for me it's really influential, but like I feel like it's like it like back in the day I think it would you would call it like a band's band, you know, back in the
Hmm.
day. Like you know, like of course like Evoken gets a lot of their swag from them. You know, so I think there's like them and their Gothen like same thing. Like I think are like bands back then maybe, and now yeah, I feel like Disembowelment should get a lot more flowers, a lot more respect.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, because that album is perfect. It's like it's a perfect like record, and it's like so like you know it was kind of like the whole cavernous like death metal
Yeah.
like before that was even like really a thing, and it just kind of blended like cool like so many cool aspects of death metal, doom metal, and then like you know like with the vocals and like kind of had like just like this really like underlining like black metal element,
Hmm.
and I don't know if that was intentional or what, but yeah, it's just a fucking cool
Yeah.
crazy sounding fucking record. Just and it's like stupid heavy. Like
Yeah.
yeah, it's just ridiculous. One of my favorites of all time.
You're bringing up Evoken. I know you're a Mournful Congregation fan.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I wish Funeral Doom had more of an audience because I it's one of my favorite little niche genre. You know, you throw in like, you know, you said Thurgothan, you know, Ahab,
yeah,
Bell Witch, you know, these bands are
yeah,
so good, but I think
yeah,
maybe maybe when people think of metal, they want the fast pounding thing, so
yeah,
they don't want to sit down and like kind of just kind of like get into this slow brooding atmosphere that Funeral Doom brings.
yeah. You know, and I can see that it's definitely not like accessible music sometimes,
No.
but like the atmospheres that they create are just like insane. Like, you know, I prefer some of the like doom atmospheres to like the black metal atmospheres and stuff like that. You know, I mean, I love black metal, but like doom atmosphere, like when that atmosphere and like funeral doom and doom is done right, it's like just so it's just so hypnotic and like you kind of
Yeah.
get lost in it and stuff like that. And yeah, another band that I feel like kind of doesn't get enough praise these days is this band called Asunder from the Bay Area.
I'm familiar.
They're fucking excellent. Probably
Yeah.
one of the best live bands I've ever seen. And of course, like later corrupted from like El Mundo Frio and after that record, so many cool just like funeral doom elements that they kind of started to incorporate in their sound. Those two bands are at the top of my list in the doom genre and in general. Like they're two of my favorite bands. I was lucky enough to see them like in like 2008, and it was just fucking life changing. Like it was Corrupt is probably the greatest live band I've ever seen in my life. Just in terms of how I felt, how they performed, how they sounded, how crushing and like
Yeah.
everything. Yeah, the best, the best. Sorry,
You
I love talking about other people's music.
no, I mean I have a YouTube channel where I do that. I
Yeah,
do
yeah,
too. You talk. I love how you kind of describe, you know, comparing the atmosphere of black metal and doom metal. One of my personal favorite albums of all time. I don't know if you're familiar, but it's Dark Metal by Bethlehem. Um,
no, no, no. I'll have to check that
it's
out
from the it's
when
from the
I'm on.
90s, and it perfectly is. It's like a blackened doom metal album, and it perfectly
Mm-hmm.
combines both like that grim iciness of black metal with that like slow kind of depressing doom metal sounding. It's like an
Yeah, yeah,
atmosphere that I haven't heard in another record. It's phenomenal.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll definitely have to check that out. Like another band that I love that's doing that kind of thing is that Mismore band is
Oh yeah.
fucking fantastic. Yeah, like there's just so many like I don't know like plain black metal riffs, but with like warmer, lower tuned textures. It's just I don't know, it's fucking game changing. It's just so fucking cool to me. I don't know.
Hmm.
I love that. But
Yeah.
yeah.
I think some of the like I look I look at like that Tumble record that came out last year, right? I think some of the most exciting metal records that are coming out like in the early 2020s right now is albums that are like bringing metal subgenres that don't typically intersect together. You know, like how like
Yeah.
Tumo put out this very weird progressive death metal record, or you know stuff like that. Like yeah,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. Pretty like that. That album was great too. I love what they're doing. I also love their other project, Dream Unending. Like it's just
oh
so
yeah,
like yeah, it's weird. It's like it's kind of proggy, kind of doomy, and I don't kind of jazzy. Like it's just I don't know. It's unique and it's
yeah,
like it does sound like a fucking dream.
yeah,
Yeah, like I love that kind of stuff. Like I
yeah.
just like I think like blending of genres is always going to be like the coolest style. Like just make something unique by taking all of your influences and just mashing all those riffs together and just see what
Yeah.
happens. Like it's the coolest style.
Looking back now, like it's not, it doesn't seem that crazy, but at the time, like Suicidal Tendencies putting punk and thrash together, like what the fuck?
Yeah,
How are you
yeah,
doing
yeah,
that? Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Like the whole crossover stuff is fantastic. And like
Yeah.
I was a bigger fan of the crossover stuff than just like the pure thrash stuff. Because I mean, like when I started getting into stuff, I was more into punk and stuff like that. And the crossover stuff was like an easy kind of gateway to kind of start
Mhm.
getting into metal and stuff like that. And yeah, Suicidal was definitely one of those bands. And then they had fucking Infectious Grooves as like a side project, which
Mhm.
is like, I don't know, like if you're from like LA and stuff like that, and you grew up like in the hood, like you love funk, you love funk and you love oldies, and like it was a mashup of funk, oldies, and punk and metal, and it was just fucking sick. I know a lot of
Yeah.
people will be like, yeah, Infectious Grooves fucking sucks, and I'm like, yeah, whatever, man. But I fucking love that shit. It's great.
Yeah. uh kind of going in kind of a different direction here, but I was kind of scrolling through your Twitter and I noticed you retweeted the same article that I did where Glenn Benton of Deicide was basically said that the current metal scene is just a bunch of wannabe Weezer lookalikes. And for me, I think that's just
Yeah.
was such a boring boomer take. But I was wondering if you had a reaction to that.
No, I completely agree. Like it's like he saw one like new like I mean I personally think it was like a passive dig at like Mold because like everyone tries to shit on like how they look, but it's like man like who gives a fuck how they look? Like they write
Yeah.
sick ass fucking music. Like who gives a shit like what they look like? Like stop being a fucking old boomer. Like you're a
Yeah.
fucking loser, dude. And I'm a big Deicide fan, and I'm like that was just very kind of like, all right, Grandpa, like chill,
Yeah.
dude, like just go back, yeah, go back in your chair
Yeah.
and shake out a different cloud, and shake your fist at a different cloud, like just chill, man.
I
But
wasn't even like, oh, go ahead.
no, yeah, that's all I had.
I don't even really know what he was complaining about. Was he like saying that like metal was becoming nerdier or metal was like
Yeah,
less like I don't know, but like I don't know what prompted that and why and what he thought he was like gonna gain from that. Or did he
yeah.
think he was gonna get a positive response to that? Because he clearly did not. Like
Probably he probably thought it was this is gonna be so cool. I'll show them and like
yeah.
unfortunately that there is probably a decent sized amount of people that are like yeah fuck yeah Glenn is so right like but yeah they're they're fucking weirdos too. But yeah I don't know. I think a lot of it's just kind of like just haterism, just people hating because like there's a new crop of new blood coming in that are killing it, and
Yeah.
he's just there, still writing the same kind of riffs, nothing, not really inventing the wheel or reinventing the wheel, I should say. He's just kind of just doing like another Deicide album, which isn't bad. Like it's cool. Like I listened to the new Deicide album, and it had its moments where I was like, okay, that's pretty sick, but overall everything kind of just blended together, and nothing really stood out to me. But like I wouldn't sit there and be like, oh, it's a fucking shitty record because this old man wrote it. Like I would never say that, because I mean clearly the dude has chops. He could write some records, like he's proven that time and time again.
Station of the
But
Cross,
like,
come on. What the
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And then plus like he was involved with the vital remain stuff, and like I'm
Oh,
like, clearly he has he knows what he's doing. But like to sit there and like shit on like other people doing things, it's just like, I don't know, man. Like those bands are living rent free in his head for some reason, and I think it's not a good look.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like you'd want this genre that you helped pioneer to evolve. Like there are a lot of, old school bands
Yeah.
that have like embraced, and like are like very aware of new metal and are like very into it. Judas Priest is a great
Mhm.
example of that. But like there are some bands, I guess, that just can't get over the fact that there's a new guard in town, and
Yeah, yeah.
my band's one of those. Yeah.
Yeah, I always point back to, yeah, like you said, like Rob Halford of Judas Priest.
Yeah.
He's definitely like he listens to a lot of like good extreme underground metal bands. And of course, like Max Cavalera, like he's always been like a supporter of what's going on in the underground. Same with rest in peace, Trevor from Black Dahlia Murder. Like
Oh
they
yeah.
they were just fans of music, and of the genre, of specifically the genre of like, or extreme metal and stuff like that. So like they did what they could to uplift a lot of bands, and or at the very minimum just be like, just acknowledge that they listen to newer music. And I think
Yeah.
it's a good style, like you have to keep this stuff alive. And it doesn't do anything to discourage, like young fans and young
Hmm.
musicians. Like it literally does nothing. And why don't you just, if like, mind your business.
I was really happy to see when I saw Cannibal Corpse that Blood Incantation opened up for them. Like Cannibal
Yeah.
Corpse, like kind of like saying, yeah, we're doing what we do, but like this new type of death metal, we think is sick
Hmm.
too, and we want them to play with them. Yeah, like that's I love what yeah, I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty badass, like seeing that kind of stuff. Or like, like cattle decapitation, taking black braid and 200 stab wounds onto it with them, like
Hmm.
it's just it's sick, man. Like it's cool to like show like your fans like new bands and stuff like that. Like it's not going to take away from like it. Like I don't know. I think old dudes have that weird like kind of like I mean, and I'm old. I turned 39 in next week, so like I'm old too. I mean, not as old as them. They're in their 50s
Yeah.
and shit, but like they have this weird kind of like chip on their shoulder, like, oh, we had to work, and we didn't get any support from, like, it's like, dude, who gives a fuck, man? Like it's a different time, man. Like you guys treated this shit like a competition, and maybe back then it was kind of like a competition, but in today's day and age, anyone could listen to anything at any given point. It's not a competition. You just have to, make some cool fucking music that are gonna grab people's attention enough to listen to it. And
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just weird. Like I said, it's just some haterism shit. Like they just want to hate because they're not getting their flowers anymore, and there's just a changing of the guard, so to speak.
Yeah.
It's just silly. But and all respect to Deicide, I love Deicide. Like, but yeah, you're out of line, homie.
Yeah. Well, I want to move on to the hard-hitting, important questions here now.
What, are we gonna talk more disembowelment, corrupted? Like I'm just kidding.
What's your go-to? What's your go-to pizza order?
My go-to pizza order?
Yes.
Holy shit. My go-to pizza order. I'm pretty basic. I just like a good like sausage and mushrooms. Like
Okay.
that's I would say that's my go-to. If I'm getting really fancy, there's a pizza spot over here uh, called Pizza Pirates. I've been going to them for, see, I'm fucking 39, probably since I was like, I don't know, almost 30 years, because it's been in Pomona for years and years and
Yeah.
years. So they have a pizza called the Soprano, and I'm a huge Sopranos fan, so I'll usually
Okay.
go with that. And it's basically like a meat lovers pizza, um, and it has it has gabagool. So it's that's
Yeah.
my go-to when I'm feeling like it. But if I'm just like, I just want like a basic pizza. A lot of times it's just sausage and mushrooms,
Yeah.
or jalapeno pepperoni is a good one too. And then I know motherfuckers are probably gonna come after me, but I don't give a fuck. I'm a fan of the Hawaiian. I'm a fan of the fucking pineapple and Canadian bacon. I love it.
Okay. Everyone watching right now, this is probably the most controversial take that I've ever given on this channel. But pineapple is the superior pizza topping, and I'm
It's
going to
good
defend
stuff.
it right now and explain why. Um, Pineapple has that sweet but like slightly acidic flavor, right? And when you put that with the tomatoey base, it also has a little bit of sweetness, and
Mm-hmm.
combine that with like the greasiness of the cheese and those savory juices, it creates this very complex, sweet, salty,
Yes.
uh, umami thing going on. It's just
Yeah,
it
it
is
really
it
does.
is it is it is the S tier pizza. It elevates. It is advanced pizza topping.
Oh yeah, big time. I agree. I agree 100%. And like I think it's I don't know. Like I know for me, like we marinate like our meat in pineapple and orange juice. So it's like it's not out of the ordinary. So
No.
like you come to LA and stuff, there's al pastor tacos, like those are like the best, and they're marinated in orange juice and pineapple juice, and then served with like little tiny cuts of pineapple sometimes. So it's like, pineapple and pork is just like
Yeah.
it's a good mix, you know.
People will shit on pineapple pizza and then like order some like mac and cheese pizza bullshit. Like,
Yeah, or like a teriyaki chicken something. It's
yeah.
like, get the fuck out of here. It's like, if I'm in Italy, no, I'm not eating a fucking pineapple pizza. Of
Yeah.
course not. But I'm in the fucking States
Yeah.
where we eat fucking unhealthy anyways. I'm putting pineapple and bacon on my pizza. Fuck it, who cares?
Yeah, yeah,
It tastes good.
yeah. All right, another food question. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. For whatever you're awake at this time, I'm not going to judge. I don't know why anyone would be awake at 3 a.m. I've had my reasons why I'm awake and out at 3 a.m. If it's 3 a.m., where are you getting a bite to eat? Like what is your like? It's that time and it's that feeling and it's that food kind of that's what you want kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, so overall, I would say Jack in the Box.
Okay.
Jack in the Box, because they're open 24 hours.
Yeah.
And like if you live in Southern California, especially in like working class neighborhoods, they're all over working class neighborhood, like the hood, so to speak. They're
Yeah.
there. So I'm going there. But if I'm like drunk as hell, 3 a.m., and I'm at my mom's pad, I'm going to the taco place down the street because it's
Sure.
right there, and I'm getting tacos. But 9 times out of 10, it's gonna be Jack in the Crack because I don't live with my mom no more.
Sure. For me, I mean, obviously there's always Taco Bell. Like that is an option. It's not like the go-to. Um,
Mhm.
there is I don't know if it's maybe where you live, but in where I'm in Minneapolis, there happens to be quite a few like 24/7 just greasy ass shitty diners where you can go get like just a big plat like a big ass omelet or a platter of like
Yeah, yeah.
pancakes. And like that's what I want. That's what I want.
We got those. Yeah, yeah. If we're going diners where I got like homies with me, and we're like, let's go sit down and eat and just kind of decompress. Uh, we're probably going to Norms. Norms, which is like a basically Denny's on steroids. Like it's just bigger meals,
Yeah.
big breakfasts. Like it's good stuff like that. Or if we're lucky, we come across a street vendor that's making tacos on the streets still at 3 a.m. A lot of them usually kind of start closing up shop after between 1 and 2.
Hmm.
But if they happen to be out at 3, it's of course the street vendors all day because those are the best tacos.
There's a gas station in my neighborhood that like is open 24/7, and like for the most part, gas station donuts are nothing special. They're not very
Yeah,
good, but at the right time, when you're in the
yeah,
right state of mind, an
yep,
apple fritter from a Speedway is so good.
yeah. I feel that. I feel that. Um, yeah, definitely. Just depends on the mindset, and of course, that
Yeah,
right time, like
yeah,
of getting something. And yeah, if you're hungry enough, maybe drunk enough,
yeah,
there's certain foods that are just gonna hit different when you get them, and
yeah.
yeah,
Oh my God. Last week I tweeted about this too. I got home from a show, took my Lyft home. I'm like, I'm hungry, but I don't want to order anything. I raided my fridge like Pop Tart. That Pop Tart in my pantry, I'm eating
yes.
that right now, but it was so good at that time.
All
Like
right,
that
all right.
was
Quick question for you: what's your go-to Pop Tart?
Oh. Ooh, yeah. Right now I have the fudge ones in my pantry, but I kind of like the classic frosted strawberry ones. Like
Yeah,
like those
yeah,
are like yeah.
yeah, yeah. See, I'm a brown cinnamon
Okay.
sugar guy, but I always thought that the red frosted cherry ones were better than the strawberry ones. So I
Okay.
think I kind of like those a little bit better. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But you can't lose the Pop Tart. It's a Pop
No,
Tart.
it's a Pop Tart. The s'mores
Yeah,
ones are fantastic.
it's gonna hit. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Those ones are great. I don't know if they still make them, but they used to do like blueberry ones that
I
had like blue
remember this.
frosting.
Yeah.
Those ones are fucking bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like those a lot. Yeah, hell yeah.
Now
I
I
like
gotta
them.
say, I'm a cheap grocery shopper. I do not eat well. I've never claimed to have an elevated food cultural taste, but I do most of my grocery shopping like Aldi, like I don't buy Pop Tarts proper. I get the toaster tarts or whatever they're called
Yeah,
at
yeah,
Aldi that are like $2 cheaper, and they still go very hard.
yeah. No, they're good too. I definitely had like the off brand. I mean, I grew up eating off brand stuff because I
Yeah,
mean, like my parents, working class parents, and they
yeah,
had 5 kids to feed, so we didn't have a lot of money growing up. So we had a lot of the like Cheerios or whatever
yeah.
different off brand and like cinnamon toast crunch type stuff or
Uh,
um and then they would always come like in a giant fucking bag that was bigger than the box,
yeah.
a box of cereal. So yeah, we were definitely a bootleg family for a long time.
At I don't know if I should. It's legal now. I could say this when I'm high as hell at night. Uh I love popping in some pizza rolls. That is that
Oh
is
fuck
that
yeah,
is
pizza
yeah.
rolls. Yeah, those, that's
Yeah.
classic. Pizza rolls, uh, were definitely a staple of my childhood. Same with like Kraft mac and cheese. Like
Oh
you
yeah.
you you, you can give me your 5 cheese whatever, and I'll think it's delicious.
Uh.
But for whatever reason, when I hit up Kraft mac and cheese, my brain starts to feel so nostalgic and
Yeah.
euphoric from like straight up unlock memories from my childhood from because like we grew up on like poor people's food, like
Yeah.
so we had a lot of craft and even like the off-brand stuff, like we had a lot of that stuff growing up. And yeah, that they just especially in your adult years, like even with like a seasoned taste palette, like those
Yeah.
still those still fucking hit, like fuck yeah, like this is this is the shit. Yeah,
uh I don't know if you have any fast food hot takes, but okay. I'm
I
I'm
do. It's not really a hot take. I think every poll that I've seen
yeah,
and that I've read, Whataburger's trash. In-N-Out is the superior burger chain. That's
there
not a
you
hot
go.
take though. That's not a hot
Uh,
take. That's just facts. That's objectively true.
yeah. So hmm, I'm a pretty staunch atheist. Like I don't talk about it, but I am. I don't make it my
Mhm.
identity. But the only reason I'm bringing that up right now is because when I go to White Castle, I feel like that is the only that is the only argument for a god that makes sense. Oh, there must
Hmm.
be a higher power because White Castle exists. I love White
Yeah,
Castle
yeah.
that much.
You know, I've had White Castle drunk, and I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I had White Castle, the same White Castle in New York, sober, and I was like, okay, it's okay,
Yeah.
like but I definitely don't think it's terrible. I think it's definitely like edible, and I would definitely get a craving for it every now and then for
Yeah.
sure, because there's something about their grilled onions with the patties,
Yes,
just
That's
it's
exactly it.
fantastic. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fantastic.
And the
I'm a
little
sucker for
pickle. Yeah.
yeah, I'm a sucker for that shit,
Yeah.
and um especially like coming from California and eating In and Out, like it's just
Yeah.
they have they put grilled onions on it, and it's yeah, In and Out is my favorite.
We don't have In and Out here in the Midwest, sadly. At least not that I've come
Yeah,
across.
well, there's a reason for that, because In and Out only they try their best to keep it regionally, so that they can their distribution center has like some of the freshest cuts of beef
Sure.
and the freshest ingredients. So they try to keep it. Well, they used to try and keep it within an 8-hour drive, so that
Okay.
nothing went. Everything was still relatively fresh.
Hmm.
Um, from their distribution center, they started to kind of expand. I think that there's one in Texas now. I'm sure they have some kind of like something
Hmm.
worked out with some kind of freight company to get the fresh ingredients there. But yeah, there's a reason why they're strictly regional, and it's because of the fresh ingredients. And like they've never really changed their prices much. Like you can still get like a excuse me, a double meal with a drink and a fry for under $10. Like it's when you start to kind of add the crazy stuff, like animal fries or animal style burger. Then they'll add like they'll add a little bit here and there, but you can still get like fast food like relatively cheap. Whereas like McDonald's and even my beloved Jack in the Box, like a
Hmm.
meal can cost like $16, and it's like fuck, for a burger and fries and a drink that I'm not even gonna fucking drink. Like, nah, no, thank you.
One of my first jobs, I worked McDonald's in high school, and I will tell you, if you knew what happened in a McDonald's kitchen, you would never pay $16 for a McDonald's meal.
Oh, hell no,
Uh,
hell no. Yeah, hell to the no. And
yeah.
like in California right now, we have like the minimum wage for fast food workers, and basically In and Out's just like, yo, we've been paying our employees livable wages.
Mm.
Like you guys are tripping. Like this isn't nothing new. They've been able to pay their employees like they start their employees I think like at $18 an hour, and this
Holy
was this
shit.
was like this was over 10 years ago. I don't even know what they start at now, but it's like they've been paying them that much while keeping their prices, at a pretty very affordable rate. It's like, yo, In and Out's the fucking goat, man.
Mm.
Economically, they're for the working people, and they sell the best, freshest burgers in California. Like
When
anyone
I
that says different, they're haters. They're haters.
when I worked at McDonald's, I got paid 7.25 an hour, and I had to pay. I was only given a 50% discount on food on my break. Uh,
Man, yeah,
yeah,
I worked at Little Caesars back in the day, and yeah,
yeah,
same thing. I got paid. I got minimum wage when I started working. Was like I think like yeah, like $7.
yeah.
I was like, man, like seven, yes, I think 7.25 ish around there. Yeah, it was, you know,
When people argue against like raising the minimum wage, like how do you expect anyone to live off of 7.25? Obviously, at that time I was in high school and I lived with my family and I just needed like spending
yeah,
money. But like there are people that are not in that situation working at those places.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's like, come on, man, give them a little bit of money, and especially
Yeah.
if like if you knew like what goes into working those jobs, they're not like that. Like people are like, oh, they're easy jobs. Like yes and no, they're not. Like they're easy because like it's repetitive. You're kind of doing the same thing, but dealing with fucking entitled people all fucking day long,
Yeah.
it fucks with you, and yeah, like that in itself is a job,
Yeah. So I did not when I worked at McDonald's, I did not work at the front. I worked in the grill area. And like,
Mhm.
do you know how hard it is to like have all these? First of all, McDonald's changes the menu like every other
Yeah,
minute. To like have all these sandwiches like just like in your head instantly and just like have to have like a line of like 100 people just like whip out all
Hmm.
these sandwiches over and over again. That is not
Yeah,
easy. That's the hardest job I've
yeah,
ever had.
it's pretty gnarly. Like I was working at Little Caesars, and
Yeah.
yeah, we had to pump out those hot and readies because at the time they were selling $5, pizzas, hot and ready pizzas. So we would have to pump out pizzas like we would like anytime we felt like we got caught up, like nah, some motherfucker would come and order 20 pizzas, and then oh shit, we gotta fucking
Yeah.
start rolling them out again. Yeah, it can get hectic, and
Yeah.
it's just like dude, working fast food, it's no joke. It's not like it's not an easy job.
No.
Like it's just people are just everyone's a fucking hater. So
Yeah.
that's what it is.
Mm. Well, we've been talking for over an hour, so I don't want to keep you too long. But one thing I always like asking about because it's just something I like talking about bands is are you a gamer at all?
No, I'm not really, or at least not like a conventional gamer. Like every now and then I'll go to like my homie's pad and play like some of the old cartridge games and stuff like that.
Sure.
But yeah, I would say overall, no, I'm not.
No worries.
Yeah, sorry. I
Yeah.
I I do like watching like my cousin play games from time because he is a
Yeah.
gamer. So sometimes like I'll go over to his pad and just watch him play games and um just drink with him and stuff like that. Like uh I was able to like watch him like play a lot of the that what was that it has a Last of Us.
Oh
Um
yeah. Oh yeah.
and yeah, I would watch him play that. So like when The Last of Us got announced, I was really excited because I already knew what the game was about because I watched him play that game so much and just kind of knew the story for the
Hmm.
most part. So like yeah, it's I like to do that, but like the games these days, man, I just can't get the controllers down. Like yeah, I just
Sure.
I'm not that good at it.
I am I don't claim to be good at games. I'm not. I like computers and I like games because I like have a computer that I built for the games. But yeah, anyway,
Yeah,
that's my hobby that my audience knows that I have.
hell yeah.
Well, um, well, for everyone at home, uh, make sure this Friday you check out Beating the Drums of Ancestral Force from
Yes,
Tzompantli.
yes,
Heard
yes.
it. I have high recommendations. Brian, thank you so much for joining me. Before I let you go, do you have any last words or any last plugs?
Um, yeah. I guess just yeah, listen to the record. If you can, I got a lot of homies that are in other bands that are tied to this band, which is a band called Teeth. Check them out. If you
Sure.
like good dissident death metal, that's also crushing, and you'll love them. Um, so of course, Severus, Dead Heat. Check out Dead Heat. And I'm pretty sure there's so many. I know I'm missing
Hmm.
somebody. Who else? I don't even know. I feel bad now. There's so many fucking bands
Yeah.
that we're tied to. Of course, Shababa. Check out my other band, Shababa. We got a new EP out on Close Casket called Aslan.
Yeah.
And then yeah, just check out those the new Tzompantli record that drops. And I appreciate you, Maddie. Thanks for having me on, and
Yeah.
my new home girl. Thank you. Um, and yeah, I just appreciate you having me on. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I had a great chat. Thank you to my patrons as always. And thank you for watching. My name is Maddie, aka Beaver Mosh, signing off.